There she is.
No running necessary.
Shelby told us you were running across the parking lot.
I think it's a video.
I've been there, done that. Okay, Mary Martha is here virtually and Dave will not be joining us tonight. So I think we have all here that are going to be here. So with that, we will call the meeting to order. It's our regular board meeting for December, Butler Community College Board of Trustees, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mary Martha, can you hear us all right?
I sure can. Thank you.
Fantastic. You are very welcome. Thanks for joining remotely.
You bet.
So first item is the agenda. The KACC quarterly report was inadvertently left off the list of standing reports. So would appreciate a motion to add that as item H in Roman numeral 6.
I so move.
Thank you. Okay.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow.
Yeah.
Trustee Shear is absent, trustee Smith.
Okay, great. That passes 6-0. Do we have any other edits to the agenda?
I'd like to move consent agenda item C, action item.
CA, the signage. Okay.
Shelby, I cannot hear you.
It's because my shirt's so bright.
I do.
Right there.
Totally agree.
Moving to asking to move consent item CA, which is the sign for the culinary building, to action items 9E.
Do we have a second for that?
I'll second.
Okay, sorry.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, great. That passes 6-0. If we have no other amendments, would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as it's been amended.
I'll motion to approve it. Has been.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, that also passes 6-0.
One item, real quick. I did bring that revised affirmation, but since everyone's not here tonight, it's kind of a moot point, so I won't be passing that around.
We'll move on then to recognitions. Dr. Kroll.
Thanks. Well, we have Caleb Harp with us tonight. I'm going to sit here at my microphone, Caleb. Caleb received an ACTE Regions 5 Post-Secondary Outstanding Business Education Student Award. He's a member of our Future Business Leaders of America and serves as the state FBLA president and national VP of Financial Development. We've seen Caleb here a lot for awards through the Lantern and the Grizzly and sports media, and this just adds to a great list of things that he's accomplished. So Caleb, we're really proud of you. Thank you for all your great activities and representation of Butler. Congratulations. I don't have anybody here from Great Western Dining, but I wanted to let you know that they have been chosen by the El Dorado Chamber this month as the business of the month. And so we want to recognize and thank them. I know toward the end of last week, they still had 16 caterings to do in the this week and early part of next week. And so they are busy all over the college, internally and externally. A lot of work they do is external. Thursday, they have our employee luncheon. We'll feed, 300 people probably. And Friday, they're feeding 500 people from the correctional facility for their annual holiday meal. So congratulations to Great Western Dining.
Yes.
Mary Martha has a birthday on December 14th. So Mary Martha, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then since this is Julie's final full meeting, I have a gift for Julie to recognize her
Thank you.
service on the board. And so wanted to give that to you because I know January is kind of a short meeting for folks if you come, but
Yeah, I was thinking about not, but.
well, that's just let us know. So.
Don't get a second gift if you come.
Hope
I don't, well,
So-
then that's it. I'm not gonna be here.
Well-
Unless you beg.
hope you enjoy that as recognition of your time on the board. So
Did you want me to look at it?
you can open it if you want to, or you can wait. It doesn't matter.
We're all curious now.
It's got purple paper
It's purple paper. And I think it's in is it in two
and
parts?
a purple bag.
Two parts.
It's not a copy mug.
Some assembly required.
No, yeah, but it's not difficult. It doesn't require any instructions.
I thought it was.
I
a
can put it
copy
together.
mug.
No. You probably already have a Butler coffee mug, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, there's something in here. Oh, that's nice. Little paperweight.
Well, no, pull it out, Julie. It's got a little plaque on it for you. Oh, I was looking at the wrong box. Yeah, it's a Butler cube that's got the Butler B embossed in the middle of it. And it'll-
Double as a missile.
And it'll sit on that wooden
Oh,
base that's got
nice.
a plaque. So
That's nice.
thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, we do have one person who has requested public comment tonight, so I will read the standard blurb on that front. The general public is welcome to address the Board of Trustees under the public comment section of the regular board meeting agenda. Public comment should be germane to the business and activities of the Board of Trustees. The public is also welcome to address the Board of Trustees during the public comment portion of any special meeting agenda, but the public comment at the special meeting should be related to an agenda item of that special meeting. Personnel issues are prohibited from public comment. The board chairperson will ask visitors wishing to make brief comments to identify themselves and the topic they are wishing to address. If several members of one group or organization wish to speak to the board concerning the same item, the board chair may ask the group to identify a single spokesperson. A time limit of 5 minutes has been set for each recognized member or spokesperson of the audience to speak to the board. The board will take no action during the public comment period of the board meetings. However, it will take the matter under deliberation and, if appropriate, direct the president to follow up with a written response and report at the next regular board meeting. Mr. Beachy. Oh, he's on Zoom. Okay.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, can you see me?
No.
Well, I don't know how to make my camera work, so I guess I'll just be this blob man for now. And I put on my Christmas sweater and everything, golly gee. Well, good evening to President Kroll and Chairman Rhodes and distinguished members of the board. My name is Brad Beachy. I retired recently from Butler after almost 30 years. I was president of the EA for 2 terms, and I was on the negotiation team for many years. I was dismayed to learn that the negotiation process has once again collided with the brick wall of impasse. This is the 3rd time in like 5 or 6 years, so that's not a very good record. I think the flights of the Hindenburg did better than that. But so far, this dispute has been framed as between the faculty who want due process, at least in the public board meeting sessions I've been watching. It's been framed as the faculty who want due process written into the master agreement and the administration who don't. So those are the 2 groups butting heads, the faculty and the administration. That's what we see. But the trouble is, these are not the only 2 groups that matter in this discussion. There's an unrepresented 3rd group, and I would argue the most important group of all, according to our mission statement, and that's the students. How does due process or teacher tenure, and I think it's pretty much the same thing for our discussion today, how does it affect the student? Let's think about that for a moment. President Kroll attended the University of Nebraska and Colorado State. Chairman Rhodes graduated from KU, undergraduate in law school. For what it's worth, I went to Purdue, go Boilers, and the University of Illinois. These are highly regarded schools, and one of the reasons why they are highly regarded is because they employ professors who have tenure. If you don't believe that tenure is important for a student's educational experience, and the value of a degree after graduation, look at the schools which don't offer tenure. Sketchy Bible colleges, for-profit diploma mills. These are the kinds of colleges our president and our chairman chose not to attend. And why not? Because they wanted the kind of robust, solid education one can only get at an institution offering faculty job security. You see where I'm going with this, right, folks? Now, the same folks want to deny our local students the high quality education experience which they themselves got. That's not a good message to send, is it? Ken Hush at ESU down the road is finding this out the hard way. After flouting teacher tenure traditions, enrollment is down, last I heard, 28%. Talk about the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity. Let's not fall into what George W. Bush called the soft bigotry of low expectations. Let's give our students at Butler the same high quality instruction that we got when we were undergraduates. The administration, if they believe in the mission of the college, and I believe they do, should be defending the best interests of the students. The board, if they believe in the mission of the college, should be demanding that our students have the same educational experience we had. And that means providing our students the opportunity to learn from professionals with job security instead of temps on short-term contracts. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anyone else here for public comment that's in the room? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to standing reports, and we'll start off with student government. Yes,
Emily's not here tonight because she's with the all of the vocal music folks that are singing with symphony tonight.
Okay, headed over there. Good for her.
I'm going to, when I get to my report. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, operational staff report. Well, I saw that here.
Evening, everybody.
Is it turned on? Oh,
Now it is. Good evening. So on December 1st, operational staff ended our holiday fundraiser. We sold 195 mixes. And so we'll use that money towards our welcome back tables and our book scholarship items that we give out each year. We don't have a January meeting because it's the first month of the semester. So our next meeting will be February in Andover. That's all I have.
great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
When are those mixes being delivered?
And hopefully the end of the week.
Okay. Looking forward to some of them.
Yes.
So they look good. Dr. Sater, professional employees.
I'll keep this short. On behalf of the professional employees, we wish each and every one of you a happy holiday and a prosperous 2024.
Thank you very much. Trace, same to you. Board Finance Committee, Mary Martha or Linda.
No meeting
Uh-huh.
today, so no report.
There we go. Foundation board report, I can handle that. Foundation board met in November. A little update on portfolio performance. Fair market value of the endowment is at 14.3 million, which is slightly down from the previous quarter. The foundation's annual financial audit that Regier Carr and Monroe conducted has completed with no notes or issues, and it was approved by the board. In follow-up to the Board of Trustees decision last month to not take action on the piece of property adjacent to the Redler Institute, the Board of Directors at the foundation made the decision from the foundation standpoint to move forward and purchase that property from the donor anyway on their own. There is no obligation to the college to do anything with it. I'm sure Tom can answer questions if you have any questions on it, but their view was both from a donor relations standpoint and a preserving the opportunity to maybe do something with it down the road, they were comfortable expending the money to go ahead and do that. Again, there's no obligation on the board or on the college to purchase it from the foundation or otherwise use it. I'm sure that opportunity will come up at some point to talk about, but it is that would be the decision of the board at that time to do as it chooses. And they're going to close on that next month. And that is all that I have on the foundation board side.
My report, thank you to Julie and Forrest for being able to attend, and Mary Martha, sorry, to attend the legislative luncheon that was on the 28th. We had Representatives Carpenter and Scott Hill here, and Senator Mike Fagg, along with Heather Morgan from KACC, had a good conversation about legislative issues and legislative agenda and some things like that. We had good attendance by VPs and academic deans, and so it was a nice way to get together and visit just a little bit. Auction planning and preparation work is already in place. Mark your calendars if you don't already have them marked for the 1st of March, which is the first Friday in March. That's the annual Butler benefit auction. And we'll update you with more information as we go along. But folks are already busy seeking sponsorships and donated items for the auction. So it's always a fun evening. Linda will give you an update on the KACC quarterly meeting, but we traveled to Seward a couple of weeks ago for a good meeting with the presidents and the trustees, representative trustees. And so Linda will share that report with you. I put at your places the executive summary of our most updated EMSI is now called Lightcast. The Lightcast study that was done, the community colleges across the system commissioned EMSI or Lightcast to do the system-wide community college study on the economic impact of the community colleges in the state of Kansas. And then each individual institution had an opportunity then to have an individual study done as well. Our last study was done in 2019. So this is a great update. The statewide or the system-wide study will be released a little bit later. Heather Morgan will be in charge of releasing that, but I wanted to give you a copy of the executive summary, and next month we can spend a little bit more time talking about it and kind of looking at some of the individual pieces. But overall, through this study, Butler's 10-county primary market is South Central Kansas. That's what has been used in our EMSI studies in the past. And through this study, you'll see on page 3 that our total economic impact is more than $754 million in that 10-county primary market that we serve. So
we got a copy.
it should be at your place. I passed it. Oh, I'm sorry. I have them here. I meant to pass them out to you. My apologies. There you go.
Thanks.
I'll hang on to one for
Yeah, just
Dave. I'm sorry. I mean, I passed out the other stuff and then I forgot to pass those out to you. Oh, thanks.
Okay.
So what did I say, page 5, I think was, shows the, overall, or page 3 maybe, shows the overall, economic impact of, Butler County and the 10 county primary market. So take a little bit of time if you have, between now and the January meeting to look through this. It's divided up into really kind of 3 sections on the impact of college operations and spending, the impact of student spending, and then the alumni impact. But it also goes into the investment analysis for students and for taxpayers, and then the social perspective of students that we educate. So wanted to give you a copy of that to, start to look at. Don't forget Nurses Pinning is on the 14th, this Thursday night at 7 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. And let Jennifer know if you're able to attend. I know Forrest will be there. And I don't know if anybody else is able at this point in time to attend, but if something changes for you, let Jennifer know. And then you also have a copy in front of you that Bill passed out, last spring and summer, our Student Government Association and students worked on the Grizzly Pledge. And we wanted to show you that the Grizzly Pledge has been installed come in 3 locations on our campuses. The top left picture shows the Grizzly Pledge on the wall in the 600 building in the student services area where folks go into advising and admissions and financial aid. The one to the right, the purple wall, is the wall in the kind of the foyer area or the entry area in the student union area in the 5000 building. And then the picture on the bottom is right when you walk in the student union on our campus. It's kind of right above looking into the cafeteria area. So we're excited for the students and thankful of your support for the student pledge. I think that's a nice touch for campus. That's what I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Educational Facilities Authority, Dave is not here. Mary Martha, have you all met? Oh, meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. There we have it. And then we have now the KACC report that we added into the agenda.
Right. Linda's got that.
Okay, I had the opportunity to go to Liberal, which is a long ways away. And but it's always very informative. Kim mentioned the Lightcast reporting for statewide in each individual college. So that's interesting, and it's a big number when you talk about state of Kansas impact of $6.7 billion. Some of the trustees and presidents that had attended the National Association of Community College Trustees talked about some of the sessions that they attended. Probably one of the most of interest items is that the FAFSA is being simplified by the government. So we all know what that will mean. And they talked about some of the pitfalls of that and some of the things that we'll have to work through as that process changes. They gave a tour of their allied health building, election of officers. They elected the same officer group or slate as last year. Just a brief reports about the president's meeting. Some of the topics were active shooters, the NIL, which, that's again going to be a very complicated, I think, process, and what our responsibility is to those athletes and helping to publicize them. We heard a presentation from Level Up Kansas, a marketing effort to re-engage adult learners in higher education. They talked about their 2024 legislative agenda and adopted that. If you spent much time with Heather Morgan, you realize that she's just a fountain of information. So she kind of goes through what she's thinking. Do you think differently? And they had a prepared legislative agenda to be voted upon, and that was done. Current trends in higher education were discussed, which included competency-based education, community college alumni's perception. And we did breakout groups for that. It's really interesting. I was on the alumni perceptions. We all know, to most people, perception is reality, but it's across the board. I mean, people that had community college experiences feel so differently than you think they would in some cases, and just like you would think in others. So it's a real mixed bag. Heather Morgan will be doing new trustee training via Zoom. And I don't know exactly when that was going to be. And then the other thing she mentioned is, interestingly, a number of the colleges have presidential vacancies, but Heather and the KACC are willing to help in presidential searches and get you in touch with people if you want to use a third-party agency or help with other directions. So that's comforting. And the next event will be a KACC event will be done. It's with legislators, January 18th in Topeka, 7:30 a.m. That would be nighttime for me. But anyway, I probably won't go to that, but we're all welcome if we want to. That's all.
Thanks, Linda, for making the trek out to Liberal. On the NIL, did they mention, are there Are there any other schools, Kansas community colleges that are providing NIL monies?
There are a couple of colleges that have NIL athletes right now,
They
a
do.
few NIL athletes. The conversation wasn't really that the institutions are providing the NIL money, it's other
Yeah.
donors and sponsors that are providing it. Okay, so,
And then
but
do you have to post images of that athlete so often, or they're wanting you to?
Yeah.
I mean, it could end up being a lot on our part if
there's,
we were doing everything we wanted us to do.
yeah, there was quite a bit of discussion at the meeting about putting some guidelines in place. The universities are starting to do that. NJCAA is starting to require some of those things be in place. And so there was conversation about implementing some of those things or talking about implementing them at the community college level because it's moving down to our level. So things that, not only protect the players, but protect the image of the college. I mean, one of the examples that you just want to make sure that if they're being sponsored because they're a Butler athlete or a Hutch athlete or whoever. You want their sponsorships to be appropriate sponsorships, especially with your names that's going to be associated with it. So you don't want somebody to be, associated with some irreputable, organization and have your name tied to it. So anyway, there was good discussion about that, but it'll continue.
Thanks again. We will move on. No monitoring report this month, no strategic discussion items, kind of move into action items, and we'll start off with the discussion on property and liability insurance that's on page 6 of the board book. And Kent, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Yes, we met with both Chris Conradi, who represented us with the current pool that we're presently in. When I say we, Dr. Krull and I met with Chris, and we met with Ryan Murray of ICI, both independently. And really, we gave Ryan the opportunity to see how he felt the market was, and if he felt like he had a reasonable chance of getting us a competitive bid in this market. The market is really tight. There's a number of colleges and school districts who are finding themselves in difficulty even getting quotes right now. And Ryan did not feel confident that he was going to be able to get us a quote that would be competitive both in price and in the deductible that we had. So, we have a lot of respect for Ryan, and we feel like he gave it his best shot for us. But at this point, we feel it's best to just stay with Kermp for this year and go on from there. So we are with them, and we'll be relying on them to do the best they can for us at the end of the year. It's not like we get up to June like in the past and say, we want you to approve this. We are in that pool now, and we'll hope for the best with Kermp. Chris, who represents him, told them, and I think I shared this at the work session, that we're probably looking at 20%. And when we mentioned that to Ryan, he had that information when he was going out looking at the market, and he didn't feel like he was going to be able to really do something better for us this year.
And one of the issues of concern is the deductible, correct?
Yes.
So through Kermp, we have a $500,000 deductible on our campuses, and most of the other carriers are requiring a 1% hail and wind deductible per building, which would potentially increase our deductible, by a significant amount. And so Ryan's discussion with some of his colleagues and the folks that he went out to ask questions indicated to him that nobody was giving at this point in time anything less than a 1% deductible for hail and insurance or hail and wind damage, and that our $500,000 deductible now is probably the best. of what the market's showing right now.
Is
So
that 1% of insured value?
And okay, insured value. And those are set by negotiation basically, because last year.
Yeah, we had an appraisal.
They're done by appraisal. Third party appraisal.
Yes.
When everything went.
Yeah. And then,
The good part about that is now we're adequate.
Right.
and then you had said you think that's gonna amount to about $70,000 in premium, or 80, more than that,
Like, hundreds of
170. Okay, thank you.
20%.
We had this set as an action item. If we're not going to elect to reopen, we don't need to take any action then do it.
That's correct. If the action item would have been if we were bringing you a resolution to get out for, that would require that.
Any other questions, comments? Thanks for following up on that. Retirement of Timothy, is it Logue?
Logan. Mhm.
Shelley? Or, Ireland.
Ireland's going to speak because individuals.
Well, I'll speak to him. Timothy Logue has been with Butler for 9 years. He's been the supervisor at the Andover campus over all the maintenance. He is retiring. We wish him luck. He will be missed. So
Oh, okay. Warren Clausen.
and Warren Clausen. Warren Clausen has been with Butler for 5 years. He started out as a lead HVAC tech, and he's been supervisor over the physical plant and building operations for the last 2 years. He is a great guy, and he's looking forward to retirement with his wife, Debbie, who worked here many, many years, and he will be missed also.
I would move to accept the retirement of Timothy Logue and Warren Clausen.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
Yes,
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, that 6-0. Moving on to the 2000 building HVAC. Ireland, you're a popular guy.
He might as well just stand up there.
Okay, 2000 building HVAC rooftop replacement. The Clifford Stone room at this time has 2 rooftop units, and one of them has went down. One of the main condensing coils in it is not repairable, so it is cheaper to replace it. As you can see, we sent out an RFP and received 4 bids. Dean Norris was the lowest, and our recommendation is to proceed with Dean Norris for the rooftop replacement. There is no Butler County commercial mechanical contractors that could did this project. So
Wasn't McCollum one of your bids?
they're a general contractor, but they're not a mechanical. This is a separate project here. This is only mechanical contractors on the
Oh, the rooftop.
2000. Yep. Any other questions?
Entertain a motion to approve Deanie Norris as the contractor for this job per the request on page 9 of the board book.
I so moved.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
yes,
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shear is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Ireland, thank you very much. The consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, we have the additional action item that we moved from the consent agenda. So that would be the signage, which is on page 24 of the board book. And Ireland, I spoke too soon. You're still up.
You might as well just stay there.
Yeah. Okay, The culinary building, the proposal is to add two new signs, one on the south side of the building. We're replacing the white Butler Community College sign with a purple one that matches and will stand out better. Right now, the white one with the gold, it's hard to read. And then the other one is the big beaten logo with Butler Community College on the north side of the building so they can be seen from Kellogg. Those are the two new signs. The other two on this are we're going to have to redo the two other signs. They did not actually meet the covenants of the Vantage property area there. They somehow got through the city's permitting without those covenants in there. So we're going to have to upgrade those. And you can see in the photos, mainly they are requiring some stonework on each side of them at a certain height, so they have to be a certain size, and that is actually the other two adjustments for that, the proposal.
So correct, the signage that would face Kellogg is about $9,000. It says Butler. And then we're wanting to redo the other two signs, or we need to redo the other two signs for $60,000.
Yeah.
That's correct.
What if we don't do it? Are they gonna fine us? Or they would just like us to, because that means covenant. I mean, we're in there, we've got occupancy.
I don't know that answer on that. I know that they contacted us to telling us we had to redo it. It didn't meet the covenants, but legally, I don't know how we stand on that.
And did that notice come from Vantage or did it come from the city?
It came from Vantage Properties.
I personally have no interest in paying $60,000 to redo two signs that we only have one estimate on. But that's just me.
Might be worth talking to an attorney to find out what our rights are with that. I mean, since they didn't enforce it at the time, I don't know.
Knowledgeable attorney that deals with this kind of thing.
Do we know if the covenants that they're seeking to enforce now, are they part of our title to the property?
I would assume they are, but I do not know that for sure.
Is it possible we could just approve the Kellogg signage now and then table the rest of this?
I'm also curious on the sign that we are talking about replacing. Are we required to keep the Redler name so big and the Butler name so small?
That would be
Seems-
my question too.
Seems like we're gonna have to redo the sign that maybe Butler's name would be a little bit more prominent.
Maybe we could trade places and fonts.
Yeah,
Well, that price is just for that lower panel though.
just to add the
Yeah.
Butler Community College.
But if we were
And-
doing, we were redoing the one on the South Road, you could have it say Butler, because Red was on the building, right?
Yeah,
Right
And I
there.
think that monument sign on the south side is gonna have Butler Community College below where it says Redler, correct?
Correct, will. And
I
it
don't know that
does.
the diagram shows that, but that's something that we
It
talked
does, it's
about.
just extremely.
Does it? Okay.
I don't see the
Well-
point of having Redler on the building and Redler right in front of it. It's,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have the option of letting people know it's actually Butler Community College.
Is the bid from Trimark sufficiently, I mean, is it split out enough that we could approve the signage on the building and table approval of the monument sign?
Yes, it is, unless we're gonna change like at the entrance to Butler instead of Redler and change the size. I mean, we'd be able to prove it if we made those changes, but otherwise, yes, correct.
Why are we keeping that name
Because that's the name of the building,
if we bought the building?
because Redlers were the lead donors. And oftentimes when you have donor gifts like that, they have naming rights as well. That's part of, I mean, that's something that we offer as part of naming rights. This building is the Hubbard Welcome Center because the Hubbard family gave the lead gift. The 600 building is the Hubbard Student Center. We have the Raymond and Betty Chris and Hubbard CTC training facility. So it's very typical that when you have major gifts like that, that donor's name is on the building as part of the name. Typically we ask if they want their name. I mean, sometimes they'll tell us that they do. Sometimes you ask as part of that lead gift. So it's not unusual to do that.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with them having the name on it. It's just, I literally had someone tell me yesterday, I never realized that was Butler until yesterday.
Exactly.
And that's,
I
being-
think the big Butler B on the backside of the building is going to help when, people are going up and down Kellogg because it's prominent. It's going to be big. So,
That's this one.
yeah.
Sign A in the packet is what's
Yeah.
gonna
But
be
we
going
could,
on.
we could also just approve sign A and B. I mean, table the other two for next month. I can just make that motion. I just moved to approve option sign A and sign B. While tabling sign C and D until next meeting.
And we can get some legal information
Right.
on the covenants and
I'll
stuff.
second.
Any other discussion on, we got a pending motion? Any other questions for Ireland or discussion about the proposal? Hearing none.
Okay, trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
yes,
trustee Jolly,
Yes,
trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shearer is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes. Okay, that passes 6-0.
one last little question. Can we find out exactly what those requirements are? I'm just curious if we just drove through the subdivision, if we could see if everybody else is in compliance, because if there's other properties that aren't, then we've got more to stand on, as far as not enforcing it.
My understanding is that the other, where are you, Ireland? The other businesses are in compliance, except Meritrust was getting ready to put up some new signage, correct?
Correct.
And wanted to do signage similar to ours, and they were told the same thing, that they have to do the stone bases. They were questioning why we were allowed to have a sign that was different than what the covenant said. And they've been told the same thing, that they have to abide by the covenants, but we can get that, we can get some information for you.
Okay.
The
Sounds good.
apartment complex across the street has the stone signs.
Would it be possible to ask for a McClure restoration? We haven't asked for something. Don't know, it was just. So, I mean, this seems quite.
So there's nothing wrong with the sign itself. It's the base that has to change.
That is correct on the one by Kellogg. The one that's actually by the entrance. We're gonna have to click.
Is it a size issue or?
It's a size issue, the location, where is the sidewalk, added stone. needs to have included.
Bring some information back for you.
Okay.
Good.
Thanks, everybody. Now we can move into the consent agenda. Would entertain a motion to approve that as it was amended.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes,
trustee Jolly,
yes,
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Winslow,
Yes.
trustee Shearer is absent, trustee Smith.
Yes. Okay, that also passes 6-0. Thanks, everybody. We'll move on to our KPI. Nothing tonight?
No
Okay,
changes.
We're
Yep.
gonna set a record.
we are cruising right along.
Should I pack up?
Monthly statement of revenues, everybody should have received by email. Dr. Kroll, I'll let you close it out.
Just specific dates. Again, nurses pinning coming up, finals end this week. The first day that the college is closed is the 22nd. That's when our holiday recess begins. And then we come back to campus on the 2nd. And still, still some dance recital this week, I think, is about the only other thing that's happening besides the symphony tonight, and then nurses pinning. So wishing everybody a nice holiday and restful holiday, and administrators will be around over the holiday break. We won't be in the offices. We'll be checking email off and on, things like that, but available if there's some sort of an emergency. So I think that's it. Unless somebody has questions.
I would move to adjourn the agenda.
Second.
Okay, trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
Yes.
trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Winslow,
Julie.
Winslow.
Say yes.
trustee Shears absent,
It's to
trustee
adjourn the
Smith.
meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we are done. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to
Yep.
all. Mary Martha, enjoy your time out with the little.
Thank you so much. It's really been fun. Thank you.